Okay, ladies, it's time to talk. Because when it comes to the mental health of Australian women, times are tough for the sisterhood. On average, 65,000 people a year attempt suicide in our country, and the majority of those are women. So it begs the question, why?
While statistics are sobering, it's important to remember that they relate to people that we love. So what is it like for a woman who faces a struggle with her mental health every day?
To help us understand the kinds of mental health issues challenging Aussie women every day, I've brought 4 amazing people together. Fiona Hurl went to the brink of taking her own life. Melissa Yu is a suicide prevention ambassador for Lifeline Australia. Marissa Forsyth's Pretty Foundation tries to prepare young girls for the life pressures they will face. And clinical psychologist Dr. Lillian Nejad helps individuals before they succumb to those pressures.
Why are women experiencing mental health issues at the numbers that we are? Are we different to men in that way?
There's usually a number of factors. So there'd be environmental factors, so how you grow up, what societal pressures are on you, biological factors, so maybe hormonal factors, but usually it's a variety of factors in combination.
The hard truth is the mental health challenges facing Australian women are significantly different from those of Aussie men. First and foremost, our bodies are different. When it comes to childbirth, for example, 1 in 10 women develop depression during pregnancy, while 1 in 7 suffer from postnatal depression. And of course, women's personalities and the social forces that shape our lives are also very different. For instance, Australian women are 9 times more likely to suffer from an eating disorder than men. And 1 in 3 Aussie women have experienced the mental effects of domestic violence. It's no wonder that since 2015, the number of suicides by young women aged 14 to 25 now exceeds that of young men.
Fiona, is this sounding familiar to you?
Very familiar.
Fiona's story is a case in point. After working all hours to build a successful corporate career, she also started her own business from scratch. But the financial and personal pressure almost led to her attempting suicide.
It started off with, a few little worries, and then it became financial challenges. But with my perfectionist strategy, I was able to hide it from even my partner who I lived with. But it just spiralled down, and there was just all this darkness until I chose the day and I was about to do what I was going to do, and my sister rang me and said, "You can't be so selfish. We need to have a real conversation, Fiona, and this is not the option."
I mean, suicide is such a lonely decision. Talking to someone is the most important thing to do when you are feeling that low, or even before you feel that low, so that you don't get there.
We talk about physical health so easily, but mental health we always struggle with because it's just something that doesn't have a cut, it doesn't have a bruise, we can't identify it. And I think society pressures, which we keep coming back to, it's this perfectionism. These are the expectations we put on ourselves, though. We say it's society, but it's also us.
The rise of unhealthy perfectionism in Australian society has been especially tough on women. In the workplace, a recent survey of almost 5,000 Aussie workers found that 1/3 of working women identified as compulsive perfectionists and were more self-critical than their male counterparts, with 25% of women interviewed found to have clinical levels of anxiety. Then there are the effects of social media, where there's substantial evidence indicating that women are developing depression, eating disorders, negative body image issues, and suicidal thoughts when measuring themselves and their lives against unrealistically flawless imagery. In response to these rising issues, Marissa Forsyth started the Pretty Foundation in 2017.
The Pretty Foundation is about getting to our young children before hopefully they start developing mental health issues.
Yeah, so we focus on building resilience in girls up to about 6 because the foundations for what we focus on, specifically body image, are laid in early childhood. So if we can get in there early and build resilience and give them the tools and ability to be able to navigate through life and cope with these potential issues that might come up, I think we give them a much better chance.
While the mental health challenges facing Australian women are mounting daily, thankfully there is one trend we can take heart from. Aussie women are more likely to seek help for mental health issues than men. In 2015, Australia's largest crisis support organisation, Lifeline, reported that more than 60% of their callers were women.
Melissa, if someone calls Lifeline and they're in crisis, give us some tips. What do you say to let that person know that they're heard and cared for?
As counsellors, we do have a strategy. First and foremost thing is listening. I can't stress the importance of listening, not being quick to jump in. We like to fill gaps. We like to fill silences because it's awkward and it's uncomfortable, but nothing grows from the comfort zone. Like, no matter what, when it feels as lonely as it is, pick up the phone, send one message out, because there are people out there that care. It's about really remembering that and a reminder that there are people that care.